Spring is finally here. Welcome to the April 2013 episode of Iowa City in Focus. I'm your host, Mary Bryant. Today we're focusing on some activities in Iowa City that encourage reuse and recycling. In fact, today I'm out at the East Side Recycling Center, which has been open for 1 year now. And if you haven't made it out here yet, you should definitely try to make it out sometime. Restore is out here, along with the furniture project. We've also got the salvage barn and the Environmental Education Center. There are also drop-off recycling bins here where you can bring your usual recyclable materials, and now there are also bins where you can leave old books and plastic-coated cartons to be recycled. You can even bring oil for recycling or buy compost and wood chips here when they're available. Be sure to come out sometime soon, maybe for an Eco Iowa City program, which you'll hear about coming up. On this month's episode, I'll talk with Jen Jordan, the Iowa City Recycling Coordinator, about Eco Iowa City, a grant-funded initiative to improve environmental sustainability in our community. You'll also get a glimpse of Project Prom, which distributed previously used promware to local teens. Finally, I'll walk you through the various environmentally themed events happening in the month of April. Stay tuned. Today I'm at the Environmental Education Center at the East Side Recycling Center, and I'm talking with Jen Jordan, who's the recycling coordinator for the City of Iowa City. And we're talking about a program that's kicking off this month, Eco Iowa City. So Jen, could you start off by telling me a little bit about Eco Iowa City? How did this start, and what are the program's goals, and how are you going to achieve those goals?
Sure. Well, Eco Iowa City actually started many years ago. And people may remember the first round of Eco Iowa City, which happened in 2008, 2009, a little bit into 2010. It was a partnership between the Iowa City Landfill and the Iowa City Public Library. And we were actually funded one of 9 grants that were funded across the whole country. And it was an awesome program. And the current Eco Iowa City, or the revision Eco Iowa City that we're working on now that kicks off in April, is really similar to that. We kind of use that as the outline. This one is much more strategic. The first 8 weeks are about food. Then we have a couple months for break and essentially rummage in the ramp. And then we start up in the fall again with water. So it's much more strategic from a planning perspective, and I think it'll help the public see that these events in the next 8 weeks are just about food. And of course we'll tie in some of the other stuff, but there's definitely a focus for each of the units, and I think that will help draw in interested groups of people.
And what are the goals of Eco Iowa City?
So the goals of Eco Iowa City are very similar to the first ones, which were basically helping residents of Iowa City become more sustainable. So that sounds kind of like a big goal, you know, what are we going to do? So we have it broken down into much more doable goals, if you will, and we have it broken out into 4 sections: food, water, energy, and consumption. And the point of it is to kind of pull together the expertise in the community and in the greater community, besides just city employees and other people who are working on things. But we partner very heavily with local environmental groups. We'll definitely partner with the Iowa City Public Library again. The other funding entity, and actually in this case, is the East Central Iowa Council of Governments. So they're coordinating with the Iowa City landfill. So we have lots of experts that we'll be pulling in for things like films, events of all kinds, panels, all kinds of great fun stuff that we want to get the community involved with. Most of the events will have not only information and kind of tidbits in the emails and things about how people can make some small changes in their lives, but we'll also have, like we did in the first Eco Iowa City round, we'll have incentives for people to try and do things better. So for instance, in the first round we gave away water bottles and coffee mugs that people could use, tote bags, things like that, subsidized rain barrels, subsidized compost bins. We'll be doing stuff like that again. We don't have everything laid out, but we have some fun ideas. So if people have ideas for small things that they could use in their daily lives that they just have never quite gotten around to either making or purchasing, if it's something that we can buy in bulk and get cheaper and then distribute to the community at either a subsidized rate or at no cost, that's part of what we want to do through the funding as well.
That's great. The community is a partner as well then.
Yeah, definitely. We want people to get involved. I mean, this isn't about the city doing this. This is about everybody doing this, us as city employees and community members, and really members of the whole county.
We'll return to my conversation with Jen about Eco Iowa City in a moment. But first, we're going to hear more from Jen Jordan, along with community member Mary Palmberg, about Project Prom.
Recycling and reuse, people generally think about their curbside blue bin or a drop-off site or properly dealing with their hazardous waste, but they don't necessarily think about places like Goodwill or Stuff Etc. or Crowded Closet as recycling or reuse, but it totally is, and we have so many opportunities in this community to do that. Project Prom is a project that we're doing for the first time this year in 2013, and it's basically an effort to help people realize that reuse can be a really cool thing. The secondary part of it is keeping stuff out of the landfill, of course.
It's a project to encourage people to clear out their drawers and their closets, items they're not using, dress-up things, prom dresses, purses, jewelry, shoes, and get them to this event so that we can pass them on to young girls who can use those things to go to prom.
There are other Project Proms or similar titled events going on across the state right now. I first got the idea from reading about it from the city of Muscatine, and their landfill and transfer station has done an event 2 years in a row now, and I think they did something like 100 dresses this year. So I was talking with the organizer and thought it was a great idea and put the idea out to some community members in Iowa City and to some other staff. There's a whole social aspect here of, we have 150 prom dresses that are going to go to girls in the community who might not get one otherwise. So that's a whole nother really cool, exciting part of it.
Getting a lot of people involved in a project for the community that helps both the donor find a good place for things they can't use and helps these girls who would really like to go to a fancy party like a prom but maybe really couldn't even think about affording it. They just have to come and select one. They don't have to pay. It's a free giveaway. So they just have to look hard to find something they really like and take it and enjoy it. There are an awful lot of people in this community that like to help, you know, and so it's one more thing they can do to help. And one of the things that makes this community so vibrant is there are so many people wanting to help. And if you show them ways they can do that, they get very excited about it and very, you know, it makes the community more vibrant and the people are happy doing it, and it just has so many benefits, I think.
Secondhand doesn't have to have a secondhand connotation. It's definitely nice stuff. It's not new, but stuff doesn't have to be brand new for it to be nice and usable and, you know, something to be really proud to wear to prom.
Now let's return to my conversation with Jen Jordan for more on what's coming up in April and May and how people can get involved.
People can get involved in multiple different ways. We'll be having lots of events, and the main way that people can find out about those will be on our website at icgov.org/ECO. We also have a Facebook page and listserv, which we'll have people sign up for. And not only can they find out information about events that way, but we'll be sending out things like clips from videos to kind of pique people's interest, tidbits of how people can do things differently. You know, maybe someone's really interested in getting and learning about how to can tomatoes. So we'll have links on things like that, different food things, you know, different ways to compost, different things like that to try and this is specifically about the food unit, of course, but we'll have the same things about the water, the energy, and the consumption.
You said that it's for the community as a whole. Is there a target audience within the community that you're aiming for?
Officially, it's 25 to 44, but my goal as a recycling coordinator is to reach everyone in the entire county and the cities of Kelowna and Riverside, which sounds a little random, but that's actually the Iowa City landfill service area. So we want to reach out to everybody. And I think there will be something for everybody.
My interest is piqued on what is coming up immediately here when you said food. Can you tell me a little bit more about what's coming up in the next couple months?
Sure. Well, April and May will be our food unit. We'll do 8 weeks of programming that focuses on food, and not just eating food, which is awesome because everyone loves to eat, right? But and my interest in food is the composting end, but really everything in between. We'll look at the distribution of food, how people can be more efficient in purchasing and even storing their food in the refrigerator. You know, thinking about little tidbits like, how can I take leftovers to work so that they don't spoil? So not only can it help people save the environment, which is of course the big picture, but it can also help them save money if they're able to implement some of these tips long term so they're not wasting food. We'll be able to cover everything, again, from production to, you know, composting at the landfill, everything in between. And that'll, you know, not only be panels, but we'll have a film, we'll have a book, reading and discussion. We're looking at doing all kinds of different fun events.
So can you tell me where the programs will take place?
Sure. Well, most of them will actually happen right here in the Education Center, but we'll also work with the public libraries around Johnson County to host events at the different libraries as well. For instance, the films and the book discussions will be mainly at the Iowa City Public Library, but we'll be reaching out to other libraries in the county as well. So everybody in the county will have a chance to participate.
Okay. Can you tell me a little about your partners?
Yes, we have amazing partners in this community. There are dozens of environmental groups that we'll be pulling in. Backyard Abundance is already interested, of course. We've partnered with them before. Though our main partner is the East Central Iowa Council of Governments. They're co-organizing the whole program. And I should also add that it's funded in part by the Department of Natural Resources Solid Waste Alternative Program, or SWAP. And people in the community may have heard about this. There are other SWAP-funded programs that have happened. The Bluebird Diner got some funding a few years ago to work on food waste. We've done a few things at the landfill and got some funding that way. So it's a pretty accessible pot of money for environmental projects in the community. So they're looking specifically at the landfill portion of it, the waste, and how we can look at food, water, energy, and consumption and reduce waste throughout there. So that's in part why it was funded. But ECOG is a partner, the DNR, of course, as I mentioned, Backyard Abundance, all the public libraries in Johnson County, which is an amazing resource and we're so blessed to have in this community. You know, Project Green, we'll be working with them. Any environmental group that's interested, we will find a way to partner with. If groups are interested and haven't been contacted, people can certainly contact us, and my contact information is on the website. And we always welcome new groups and new ideas.
This sounds like a great program that I think we'll all benefit from.
Yeah, and hopefully have some fun too.
Thanks for talking with me today, and I wish you luck.
Thanks for having me.
Get out your calendar. It's time to take a look at the many events going on this month that focus on the environment. The East Side Recycling Center is having an open house and BioCell overview on Saturday, April 6th from 10 a.m. to noon. The BioCell overview is at 1 p.m. Project Green presents Identifying Edible Mushrooms with Marty Augustine on Sunday, April 7th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Iowa City Public Library. The University of Iowa Museum of Natural History is screening the Earth Month movie Fern Gully on April 7th at 2 p.m. in McBride Auditorium. Taco, or Take a Kid Outdoors, is presenting Starry Nights on Friday, April 12th from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at Weatherby Park. Eco Iowa City presents a food discussion with Jesse Singerman, who will discuss the current food system in the U.S. on Wednesday, April 10th at 7 p.m. at the East Side Recycling Center. The Museum of Natural History is screening 6 Degrees Could Change the World, a National Geographic documentary film that explores how the Earth's rising average temperature could impact the future of humanity and the planet, on Sunday, April 14th at 2 p.m. There will be an electric car showcase and screening on Tuesday, April 16th at the Iowa Memorial Union in the Illinois Room. Showcase is at 5:30 and the screening is at 6:30. Eco Iowa City presents Dive, an award-winning documentary by Jeremy Seifert, which explores the incredible amounts of good food that is sent straight to landfills every day, on Wednesday, April 17th at 7 p.m. at the Iowa City Public Library. An Earth Day fair is being held on Saturday, April 20th from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. at the Iowa City Public Library. The Iowa City Public Library has 2 Earth Day documentary screenings planned for Monday, April 22nd. At 12 p.m., the documentary Truck Farm is playing. That evening at 7 p.m., the documentary Green Fire, Aldo Leopold and a Land Ethic for Our Time is playing, followed by a discussion of the film. Eco Iowa City presents Reducing Wasted Food with Bob Anderlich and Scott Kepke on Wednesday, April 24th at 7 p.m. at the East Side Recycling Center. Pharmaceuticals and sharps will be collected on April 26th and April 27th. On Friday, April 26th from 2 to 3 p.m., they'll be collected at the Iowa City Senior Center. On Saturday, April 27th, they'll be collected from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the East Side Recycling Center. Bring old medications, needles, and sharps for proper disposal. Backyard Abundance is having a plant sale fundraiser on Saturday, April 27th. Pickup for online orders is from 9 to 11 a.m., and general admission is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Robert A. Lee Community Recreation Center. On Saturday, April 27th, there's a free shred event from 9 a.m. to noon at City Carton Recycling. Bring up to 5 bags or boxes of your sensitive documents to be shredded. There are a number of City Creek cleanups scheduled for the month of April. Search on Facebook for more information or to sign up to help. Consider taking part in one or more of these events this month in honor of Earth Day. You can watch all of these segments again by visiting citychannel4.com/video or by turning to Channel 5 and calling into video on demand. While you're there, check out some of our past shows. And you can like us on Facebook to receive updates about other City Channel 4 programs. Find us there at facebook.com/citychannel4. Thanks for watching this month's episode of Iowa City in Focus. Have a lovely and thoughtful Earth Day, and I'll see you next time. You're watching City Channel 4. On TV, online, on demand, on Facebook, and now on the go on your mobile device.